Hi, in this video we will continue to the part 5 of the HTML and CSS coding for this design project, and this is a list of suggestions how you should use this video. And the material for this video can be found on this webpage, which is already opened. Let me see. Here, it's already open here. Okay. And this is where we stopped. We stopped at R5, and this is what it looks like right now. Okay. And sometimes when we design these kind of pages, we need to make changes along the way when we realize something is wrong or we want to do things slightly differently. Okay, in this case, after we reach R5, we actually want to use border to handle, we want to use padding to handle the R5 because if you look at it here, this makes a perfect padding case around the links that we have. So we are going to do that instead of using R4. So as a result, I want to remove R4, so I will just delete it and remove R4 here. Save your work. Okay. And I also recalculate the size, the height of the header. So I add up all these numbers together and I realized the original calculation was wrong, which is kind of common. So I will change the color here for the header to 220. That is actually the actual height. If you're not sure about the height, actually you can just do not use header at all and add background color to each of the R1, R2, and R3. That will also do the work, but since I started with the header, I'm going to stay with that. So I changed my header to 220, and let's look at the result. Okay, actually it doesn't make a difference here right now, but later we'll see the difference. Alright, the next thing we are going to do is going to add the R5. Okay, I'm just going to copy the R5 here and explain what it means because I want to speed up the video a little bit or else we'll be here forever. So R5 will be 80 times 900 instead of 980 because the width actually has to be added to the two paddings that are added here to create a total width of 980 pixels. Okay, so I'm using a padding to achieve the effect. Okay, if I want to see the background, see actually what it looks like, actually I can add a background color here just to see what it looks like, and then I add a border top and a border bottom to achieve the effect that is here and here. So when I reload, I will see a very nice R5 created, and then as a result I can get rid of the background color. I can still see the border top and border bottom created. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to go into to create these effects. Let me check to create this. So this will be all the columns in R5, but I'm going to add one more thing around this. I'm going to call it R5 C2. Okay, and I'm going to add things inside. Actually, personally, I think R5 C2 is not really necessary, but since I've been doing this, I want to follow the slicing reading, so I just add R5 C2 here. So in R5, I'm going to do R5 C2. From this point onwards, I want to speed things up a little bit, so I'm going to do a lot of copy and pasting instead of typing, just to speed up the video. But when you practice at home, you can always type if you want to. Okay, so let's look at R5 C2 here. Okay, just to enclose the thing, and close the middle part, I can always change this to white to see the effect. I can always change this to white to see the effect first. So this is the middle part that I'm going to add in the images and links. Okay, so I can get rid of the background color now. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is this one. So that is the first column, second column, third column, so on and so forth. Okay, so let me first do the first column, and let's see what it looks like, and after that maybe I can speed things up a little bit. So the first column is going to be a link. Okay, it's going to be a link to my page in the future. I'm going to create adult.html. That's the page I'm going to create, and it's going to be a link on an image. The image is R8C2. How do I know it's R8C2? In 31 slicing, we created a lot of images, and we know that this one is the one we are going to use, and we're going to copy these images to 32 code images subfolder here. So I'm going to use the Control key. Okay. Control mouse click actually is to select more objects. So I'm going to use the Control key to select this 7 images because we're going to use them for links. So I'm going to right click, do a copy, come over here, do a paste, and R8C2 is the first link. So I'm going to put the R8C2 here. Okay, that's the first link, and obviously we need to take care of R5C2 1 here. So I'm going to put R5C2 1. I need to flow left. Okay. Save. 80 pixels, which is 80 times 80, which is the exactly the dimension of this image file. And come over here. We should have our first image. Okay, and it's a link, so it will link to a page that we are going to create in the future. Right now, of course, it will break, but in the future, after we create a page, the page will be here. The next thing is the second column here. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to just create empty div tag with an ID of R5C22. So this is the second tag, and here we are going to do R5C22 here. And we are going to say the width is that. I want to see the color first, so I'm going to change the color to white and see how it looks like. This one white. Let me try something. Okay, if I add an MBSP, then I can see the white. If not, I don't really see the white, which is kind of interesting. So let me get rid of the white. Maybe we get rid later. Actually, I can get rid now. This one. Okay, so we go on to do the third thing, which is here. Okay, so that will be Alpha C23. I'm just going to copy here, and the image is RAC4, which is RAC4. That's the image link I want. Okay. And I also copy the R2C4 here. And that should at least, then we need the CSS code for the R2C3 and R2C4. Okay. We should see the image here, and the link is working. But I don't see the color here, so I'm going to change this to that and see how it goes. And you see that, so you know that it's working. So check this, get rid of that. Okay, so we basically just do this all the way, you know, until the end, and you can name it the name you want. And something to take note is this middle piece is much bigger. Okay, so you may want to leave a couple of numbers in the future if you want to expand things from this side to this side. Okay, so I'm not going to go through all of them one by one. I'm just going to copy my code to show you the final output. Basically, you have to be patient and just do this one by one, you know, keep going and going. So I'm just going to copy all the things here. Anyway, the code can be found on my website. You can always download it to take a look. And I'm going to add a couple of MBSP just to able to help me to check stuff later if I want to. Save. And that pretty much concludes my R5. But of course, I have to change the CSS as well. So my CSS is going to be a lot of repeating stuff. So here, after R5, I'm going to copy here. There's a lot of stuff. So from R6, 20 pixels, R7, 80 pixels. R8 is big because it's white, 240 pixels, and then followed by 80, 20, 80, 20, 80, 20, 80, and so on. So if you do that, you should see all the images created here for you. And that concludes R5, and all the links are working. Basically, it's a very patient, you have to be very patient and go through all of them one by one. I cannot do them one by one here because my video will take 3 hours, and that probably won't be allowed to upload to YouTube or something. Okay, so that's the end of this video. Next one, I will move on to the things below here. Thanks for watching.